Good morning, Warren. Um, so I've done this video like 3 or 4 times, so that's why it's a little late. I'm trying to be more consistent with my gratitude gardens, but yeah, it's a work in progress. We'll get back into the swing of things. Um, so I think this morning I really want to touch upon a few different things. One, thank you to all the parents who are picking up and dropping off and um, expressing your own gratitude to our two ed techs, Maureen and Cindy, who are out every morning and every evening for about 30 to 45 minutes on each end. So a total of about an hour and a half a day outside, helping kids get to cars, calling in numbers to the office staff, helping kids get in the building, helping kids get out of cars, and helping parents out in the morning. I've checked in with them multiple times because, I mean, they're out there rain or shine, whether it's cold or warm, and they always have a positive attitude about what they do. I've checked in with them multiple times. We're trying to, I want to make sure that they're not getting burnt out, that they're, that they're warm, that they're taken care of, and they say that, they let me know every time I talk to them that you guys are so amazing to them that it keeps them going, it motivates them, it encourages them to do what they do and to do it as well as they do. It's a great way for our kids to start the morning off. It's a great way for them to end their school day, and I think it's a great way for our parents to feel comfortable. They're two amazing people who really go above and beyond. So, and they constantly are expressing their gratitude to me about what you guys, the compliments that you guys give them, and the way you treat them. So thank you for that. I also would like to just continue to express my gratitude for our district and our teachers and the approach that we have taken through all of this, and really putting SEL at the forefront of what we do in everything. We're always considering the whole person rather than just the arbitrary academic expectation, which is really gratifying to me as an educator. Over time, my philosophy of education has shifted, and I've really, the longer I've been at this for about 15 years, and with every year that I do this, I realize more and more how important it is to build a person rather than a scholar. Not everyone needs to be an academic scholar. What's actually more important and what determines long-term happiness, and then as a result of that happiness, long-term success, is actually social emotional well-being, having the confidence to try something new, having the work ethic to push forward something even if you're struggling, having the mindset around failure and understanding that failure is part of the learning process, and that it's, in order to ride a bike, you're going to fall off the bike, you're going to get hurt, you're going to struggle, but that struggle will ultimately lead to something very rewarding, which is the ability to ride that bike. And our district really takes this idea and philosophy to heart in everything we do. And I appreciate that. And of course, everyone's got little nuances that they view differently, and we all have our own opinions on a wide variety of things, but overall we're all marching towards the same goal in a similar way, which is kind of cool. I really appreciate that, and just it's very gratifying to come into work, and that's not something I've always been able to say. And this year in particular has been extremely gratifying because everyone is just more intentional about saying thank you and about listening to understand instead of jumping to conclusions, about problem solving when an issue comes up instead of holding on to it and letting it fester. Um, the people I am surrounded by are super positive. And then on a personal note, I think I have got an overwhelming amount of gratitude, um, for just simple things, getting that time, to spend with my family and not feeling guilty about it. And, getting that time to pursue personal interests, again, without having to feel guilty about it, without feeling like I should be consuming my life with work. Um, so having that balance. I had a great Thanksgiving break, and I hope many of you did as well. All of you did as well. Um, got to spend some quality time with my kids and my wife, and I hope everyone got to see their family and spend time with their families as well. Um, and I got to end my vacation on Sunday evening, doing a restorative practices self-reflection circle with some people that I did a restorative practice training that took about 6 days last year. Our district is really interested in restorative practices, and we're kind of dabbling in it at this point. And circles are a really cool, awesome tool that can be used when trying to develop community, when trying to get feedback, when trying to solve problems. That really it focuses a lot on giving everyone guaranteed airtime, um, getting people to actively listen and pay attention to each other without distractions. So, like, we're not on phones, we're not on our laptops while people are talking. And so, obviously, I did the circle virtually, and it was still a great experience. And I really appreciated the people that I was with, and we had a conversation about um, open, relate, and expand. This process that we all go through, and the many ways that it can impact your life and influence you. Um, One of the big things for me was how that process really kind of defines what we do and what we go through as people when we experience significant growth in our life. I think that uh, anyone who's been through a moment that they can point to where they like, that's where I changed, that's where I shifted my mindset, that's where I evolved as a person, that's where I grew up a little bit. Um, those moments are typically full of adversity, but it's adversity you overcame eventually. And part of doing that is this process where you open yourself up, right? You have to, you're typically, you're not open because you're afraid, you're hesitant, you're anxious, um, you're uncertain, and so you avoid. Whether it's I am anxious or uncomfortable addressing this concern that I have, or accepting this reality about myself, things like that. But once you open yourself up to those things and you start having those conversations, then all of a sudden you begin relating to people in the world around you in a different way. and then that allows you to expand your understanding of the world and who you are and how you approach it. So that was an interesting way to frame that process. Because I understood the process before, but I didn't really have the language to frame it in that way and to understand it in that way. And so it was a good conversation, really good conversation, a lot of great stories that came out of it. And just I really appreciated that time and that opportunity to reflect on that and think about how that has played a role in my life and how it should be playing a role moving forward. One of the big things I've been working on over the last few years is trying to remember to keep that openness, so that I am able to relate and expand, as a person and with others. So that is it for me today. So I will tune in next week and hope to see everybody soon.